And back in the studio is Lisa Waters-Lane. We give this segment just to her to kind of inspire us, to tell us what she's seen in the gardens, out in the yard, what's going on in bloomings, fragrance, birds, just kind of what's going on in the gardens. So all about you, my dear.
As it should be.
As it should be. I totally agree. Been 35 years, and it's always been all about you.
Okay.
When it's not about me. It's hard to believe we've been married. This is our 35th coming up here pretty quick, right? It's been a long time. It's been a long haul. Not really. Just kidding.
Thanks, honey.
I would
Love
do it
you
all
too.
over again in a flash. Wouldn't even think about it. I'd go, yeah, I'm all in. Let's do it. This time I want 5 kids, not just 4.
I think 4 was really good.
Yeah, 4 was 1 boy, 1 girl, set of twins.
Yeah.
That's our family. So anyway.
And numerous dogs.
I did find a picture. I was going through photos. And I found a picture of our 2 youngest with Cassie, our very first.
Be the 2 oldest.
2 oldest, yeah. With our Cassie, our first dog we ever had together, a black lab,
Mix.
pit bull, mungie, kind of, just a big black dog that loved kids. So
She was
kind
wonderful with the kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
anyway,
remember bringing her home and you're like,
what just happened?
'cause I didn't really clear
You
it.
didn't clear. You've never cleared any of the dogs with me. What are you
You
talking
know,
about?
you
You didn't even
married
clear the kids with me. So anyway, we're having a child. We're having twins. Actually, our good neighbor that I used to babysit his kids when I was growing up in Wildwood, Dr. Schmidt. He kind of took the X-rays or the ultrasound and went, you're having twins. You're going, what? No. So it's kind of love a small town because everyone knows almost before you do
True.
what's going on. So what are we talking about garden wise? Enough about us and our dogs
wonderfully exciting life.
and our neighbors.
So let's talk flowers instead. So a lot of perennials, most of your perennials really love it warmer.
Right.
So they're more the June, July, August before they really get kicking. But there are a few that do really well in the early spring. So I thought I'd bring a few of those by to show and to encourage people and to get them excited about getting out there and planting. The other great thing about these early spring flowers is they're great for the pollinators.
True, yeah.
Because they are starting to wake up. The bees are out. There's a few hummingbirds still floating around. I've seen a few moths and butterflies.
Is that voice going to stay with you or not? Just kind of
I
like is
don't
wavering
know.
on the edge going, it's about to close. I'll see if I can put the enhanced filter on to kind of make you sound more. She's been recovering from allergies, cold or whatever. And
Yeah.
you're finally back after a week. So
I know,
you look
but
good.
the voice is kind of.
You don't sound as good as you look.
Well, thanks. I'll show flowers
There
instead.
we go. It's covered.
So this first one being Candytuft. Nice sun-loving perennial. You can put it right out there in the sun. It's going to be happy. Really cool about this plant is it's actually evergreen.
Yeah.
So even when the blooms fade, that vibrant green, dark green color is going to have you show off your other colors that you plant later, that bloom later.
It smells
great?
terrible, so that's probably why it doesn't get eaten by. This is one that
true.
grows wild out in the forest. You'll see this little green plant about just above ankle high with white flowers on it very early, and it holds the flowers for a crazy long
It
time.
does. It really
So
does.
it's Candytuft is one of those. I think every yard should have at least one, because it's going to stay there in your gardens for many
I've
seasons to
actually
come.
used them in containers
Yeah.
before to have that color early in the spring, and then
Yeah.
I just leave the plant because it's green, so it's filling some space, and I throw some other color in around
Yep.
it. So easily grown in containers, perennial beds, gets 12 to 18 inches tall.
Full
probably.
sun and then kick dirt at it. It'll
Yeah.
be happier. It's just be mean to it.
Right.
And it will grow and just a true native. It's a native bloomer. Doesn't look native, but it is.
So great plant for here. Definitely one to think about. The other one is Columbine, which is another native plant for up here in the mountains. So the Columbine comes in blues, it comes in yellows. This one's yellow and red. It comes in yellow and blue. I think there's like 50 different varieties of color.
Oh, and growing all the time. They're always hibernating or cross-pollinating these, so they come out with different colors. Just funky. Isn't that pretty? My goodness. Red with yellow. That's crazy. That's not even natural. And it grows wild here.
It grows wild. It's actually deer resistant.
Yeah.
So it's a good one to put in those forests, urban interface areas. It's a great plant to put in there. Another long bloomer, it'll also reseed. It'll drop seed and come back from seed the next year. So just a great little plant.
This one grows wild in the forest. Our native one is yellow.
Right.
It's like a butter yellow. It's a natural one. So plants, the animals look at that and go, that's terrible. Don't eat those yellow flowers. They're awful. This one's got that same yellow our native has, surrounded in red. So I don't know if this deer would eat that or not. I have no idea. Here's one way to find out.
Try it and see.
Let's see what happens. That's right. For sure it'll reseed and come back from the roots.
I don't know if javelina bother them. Do you know?
No, we've had one out in the front yard. They eat everything else, but not this one. So they actually nibble on the Candytuft. They took the flowers off.
Those jerks.
I think what it is, it's been so cold so long. They're
growing.
desperate and they're eating things I've never seen them eat before. And so that's why we always say resistive, because if there's anything else, they'd rather eat the dirt than eat that. They will, but if they're desperate enough, before they starve, they're going to try
hungry,
it.
They're going to try it. Yeah.
So anyway, Columbine, Candytuft. What else you got?
The other one I have is not necessarily a perennial, but it's one that people love to put in their yards here. So this is the California poppy. Excuse me. So that's the one everybody's dying to have in their yards. The wonderful thing about a California poppy is you throw it in your yard and you forget about it. Kick dirt at it.
Yeah.
Ignore it. Treat it like garbage, and it'll thank you for that.
Almost.
So the main reason people do these in is because they're trying to baby them. They're
that's right.
over-watering them, doing all this stuff. But they're truly just one of those really rugged flowers. Going to come back by reseeding. So if you have them in your yard, they're going to bloom longer if you deadhead. But if you deadhead, you're going to lose your seed for the following year. So it's kind of a trade-off. Maybe
Eventually, I found these reseeds so crazy, you can't deadhead them enough to keep them from reseeding. Eventually, you're gonna blink and let it go for a couple days, and it reseeds just like that. So, but it will bloom a crazy long time. It is a perennial that you think it's a perennial, but a definition of a perennial, it comes back from the same root it hibernated from last year. This won't come back from this root. It reseeds. So you have, instead of one plant, you've got 8 now because they're reseeding. They kind of spill across the yard. So you'll see entire mountains filled with this California poppy throughout this spring. It'll be here. It'll be a riotous
I think it's gonna be a good wildflower year, definitely. We have some at the garden center, kind of over by your office in the bed in front. And my goodness, last year I think they
crazy.
took over everything else.
They were too obnoxious. They were getting obnoxious. Had to weed some out and go, okay, that's enough, guys. You stay here, or gals. Just you stay here. You don't spill outside that border.
Yeah, some people get a little frustrated trying to get them going, but once they go, they go. So this one, I brought in just the flower. It's actually not a flower. It's a bract
Really?
of it. So this is a gopher plant, euphorbia. So
Ta-da!
we have them at the garden center, but the plants are huge, and I didn't want to drag the whole bucket over. So I cut off a flower. But it's so pretty green. Ours at home is in full bloom. And it's just so bright out there in the yard. It's just so pretty.
Evergreen plant, perennial. I call it gopher plant, and that one plant's supposed to keep gophers out of your yard. That is not true, but they won't eat this plant. But with that, we're out of time. It's another native plant that kind of goes. So thank you, Lisa, for sharing some of the spring blooming, early spring bloomers of spring that you can plant right now here at Waters Garden Center. Right back after this.